Hey everybody, it's Robin from Roaming with Rover. Just giving you a quick update like I promised. We did the market last week, and gosh, I appreciate you guys popping in and listening to the little live that I did. That really helped me a lot. It was I don't want to say rough, but it was a rough day. Getting set up was tricky, and not having everything that we needed. Um, I thought we had everything we needed. I did not. And that made the getting going a little bit tricky. I learned a lot. But it was my first ever craft show. And some of the things that I learned was I took too much stuff with me. I took way more than I needed. And when we tore down, I literally just threw everything in buckets and bins because I knew I was going to sort through everything. When I got back home, I sorted through everything and reevaluated everything that I took. And I feel like this week I am much better prepared. So when I go to set up this week, it's going to be much more organized, and I have all my officey stuff in one bin and all my product in another bin, and everything is pre-priced. And I had pre-priced the most of the items, but things that were going in little baskets and stuff, I hadn't put the prices on the baskets yet because I wasn't sure what was going in which basket. So that's all taken care of. Isn't he the cutest little thing? Mr. Elmo made an Elmo hat this week. Um, and so just a lot of little things that I didn't do until I got there, and just learned a lot of things about where to set things up. Um, it was a learning experience, and I knew it was going to be. I knew the first couple of weeks are going to be a learning experience, and that was part of the deal. So I was expecting that. So that was not a surprise. Um, what kind of was a surprise was how very, very helpful the other vendors were. The lady next to me, oh my gosh, she was selling jewelry made out of rocks. Like, I don't want to say like, it wasn't like fancy rocks, but um I don't know, rocks that she polished up and made pretty. Um, and I'm sure they have some kind of meaning, but I don't know. But they're very pretty, and then she wrapped them in wire, and I'll get her information and pass it along to you because they were beautiful, beautiful designs. But I was so wound up, I didn't get the information from her. She literally came over and helped me set up tables, and honest to gosh, she grabbed my earring rack and hung my earrings up for me. And I was, who does that? And she was so nice. She was so nice. And the guy behind me, he's like helping set the weights up, the buckets up with the weights on it. So I couldn't have gotten through if it wasn't for the help of the other vendors. And they were so very nice all evening long. And it's like this vendor needs to go potty, so you keep an eye on their booth for them. Everybody was just super, super kind in that regard. It is not a big event. I was surprised at how few booths they were. Right before, like 10 minutes before closing, I finally got a chance to take a quick, and I didn't even get to see all the booths because I literally took a very quick walk around. There's maybe 20-25 booths, so it's a really small event, and perhaps there will be more vendors as time goes on because this is a long show. It's, with it being a farmer's market, it goes all summer. um, and I understand there's a great big farmers market in a really cool part of town the same day. So that might also be part of the problem, why there's so few vendors. I don't know. But, and there were hardly any people there. Um, customer wise, there was not very many people there all evening long. I don't think we had 30 people. So it was the opposite of busy, very, very not busy. But because of that, it gave me a chance to settle in, get things set, figure out how things were gonna go. Now the good news was, because there were so few customers, I could really evaluate how things were going to go, figure out the flow. And even with the few customers that we had, um, we halfway through the night we changed our setup a little bit. One of my tables was a lady who sells cookies, and she's going to sell cookies throughout. Now she won't be there every week; she'll be there some weeks, and about halfway through the evening, we were set up in a U shape, and halfway through the evening, we moved her table right up front. And boy, did that make a difference. It really drew people in when we put her in the front, and made a huge difference with the number of people that came into the booth. Um, and it made a difference in her sales as well. So, and that's the thing, you learn the process throughout. So, and she's going to be there this week as well, so right off the bat we know we're going to put her right in the front. um, but again, because part of the reason that we are there is to get exposure to my boss's company, which is the art store. So everybody that came in, I talked to them about the art store, and we got a lot of exposure. And many, many, many people said, "Oh, I see that store there, and I wondered what it was about." So I was able to get a lot of information out to people about her store. So in that respect, it was very, very successful. Some of the things that I did poorly was the other lady whose stuff that was there, which was the machine embroidery and the sewn items, way too much of it. I had way too much of it out. It was just overwhelmed, and there was so much you couldn't even tell what was all there. So I will be displaying it differently. And the same thing with my hats and things. There was way too much of it. So this week I have purchased some, those over the door racks where like you hang up your bathrobes and things like that over the door. I've bought some of them, and I'm going to hang them from the top of the tent, and I can hang bags and totes and the baby blankets. I can clip them to those and have those hanging from them. One of the other booths has done that. All she sells is totes. She has them all lined up all down the side of her tent with those, and I saw that and I'm like, I'm stealing that idea. So that's going to, not only will that give us color and more visual appeal, it's going to clear off the tables a lot. The more you can get at eye level, the better. And so that's going to give a lot more vision for that kind of stuff. Sales, not so good. I sold two things. So the cookie lady, she sold some cookies, and I sold two items. I sold one of the loveys, and I was still setting up when a lady and her little guy in a stroller went by, and she saw one of the loveys. And so I showed him two or three of them, and she ended up buying the first one that he saw. And that was great. I was super excited about that. And then right before we closed, a lady came by and she bought one of the kitchen towel holders. So my total sales was $25. And then, because I had done that pop-up live, one of you lovely people from the live bought some of the water balloons. And so my total sales for the day, including the mail order, I count that mail order sale, was $49, which isn't bad at all. I was very pleased with that. And today I was kind of sort of thinking, what goal do I have? What am I really trying to do? And so I kind of have set a goal for myself of a certain amount that I really want to make back, and to see if this is something I really want to do in the future. So going forward, I want to hit a certain goal. I want to hit $100 in sales, which isn't much, But $100 in sales every week will is a break-even point. It's not making any money. It's a break-even point. And then that will tell me if this is something I would want to do in the future. And it would be an absolute minimum. Now, I talked to the lady who runs the place, and I said, there wasn't a lot of people that came through here. And she told me the first couple of weeks there are not. Plus, it was the end of the month, and it was also the week after a holiday. So, not a lot of people. But she said the first couple of weeks is pretty slow. And then I'm going to be doing it this coming week, this coming Wednesday. And then I leave town for 5 Wednesdays. So, but that'll give me some time to make some more smaller things to have ready to go. So then when I come back, it should be right smack in the middle of the busy part. So we'll see. I did have a little guy go by and he's like, Elmo, Elmo. And I had one Elmo lovey there. So I looked around. I didn't have any Elmo hats. So I made up an Elmo hat this week. I'm making a market bag, which I should have done today. Here's the little market bag I'm working on. Come on. So here's the market bag I'm working on. It'll be done today. And I will have some more earrings done. But other than that, I'm not adding any more to this week. And then I will be making small things while I'm gone. But other than that, I'm not adding anything else to it because I'm still right in that position where I don't know what's going to sell. And I'm going from there. Thank you guys so very much. Let's see what happens with the next one. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.